ABC Sport with Brett Big Willie Moore and Karina Brown. Another good gain here from Jermaine Osako. He took two tacklers with him. He'll play it 40 out from his own line. Platt dummy half on play 4. Fed back here to Farnworth. Over halfway he goes. Their best set of the game so far. Platt runs from dummy half. But Brooks got him around the waist. And up top, Ben Trebojevic. 35 out. Last play Finns as it comes from the hammer to Kartoa. And he lost the footy. It's just not the ideal way to end the set there for the home side. And it will be a Manly Warringah ball. 35 out, 20 in from the western side.
Great set of 6 by the Finns. That's where their strength is. Their back 5 are so penetrating. But unfortunately, Kartoa drops the ball on tackle 5.
Good set of 5, I reckon. Good set of 5. The 6, that's what it was. Over halfway here as Finefiliaki and Platt make the tackle there on Toa Taukola. Scored a try against the Roosters last week. 10 tries in his past 8 NRL games, Toa Taukola.
That's 2 runs by Jake already. He's switched on tonight.
As Wakeham goes from dummy half to Fogarty, and now Brooks with a dummy. Darts back here on the inside of Felice Kafusi, who stops him in concert out there with initially Finefiliaki. Now comes the right-hand side. Fogarty across here to Olakau'atu. Looking for greater consistency off the back of his injury-riddled year last year, Olakau'atu. 11 out from that northern line. Manly's best look of the game so far. Fogarty's kick, crossfield bomb. Up it goes through the air. Tom Trebojevic, but it'll be a Dolphins ball here. Take on the full, it was clean. So restart from 20 here and 7 tackles for the Dolphins. As it comes off that hammer, comes the right-hand side for Averillo. He darts away on the inside. He's too quick for Trebojevic. Brooks still chasing him as well. He's got the hammer on the outside, but he loses the footy. Jake Averillo. It's picked up by Brooks. On the other, the Seagulls go from the halfway. Clayton Falalo is tackled down there by Finefiliaki. 5 inside Dolphins territory. Chaotic end-to-end stuff on those 2 runs, initially by Averillo and then Luke Brooks. So, Manly have the footy back. Paseka stands in the tackle of Lemuelu. Play it 40 out. They shift at the right-hand side here, the Seagulls. We've played now 5.5 minutes and no score so far. Dolphins Manly here on ABC Sport. There's the first set restart of the game. So from dummy half, Wakeham links up with Hetherington and he's within 15. Oh, stolen away by Farnworth. Dolphins back on the attack. 1-on-1 steal. Great work by the Englishman. And Farnworth tackled 25 out centre field. We'll get the Karina Brown on the sideline very shortly. Just wait for a break in play. It's been chaotic stuff here. Fast-paced game to start on this nice Thursday evening at Redcliffe. Platt for the right-hand side. And Osako steamroll Brooks initially. Platt now 40 out. Platt off here again, Averillo with a break over halfway. And this time wise to him is Toa Taukola. The play it now 40 out from Manly's line. Dolphins here on the second last, and it is with Tom Gilbert, their co-captain. Play at 35 out now. Platt, open side left, he comes off to Isaiah Kartoa. Looks like a kick off a step now as Tom Trebojevic launches. So to Tabuai Fido. That will be last play, and now a changeover 9 away from the Manly Warringah line. Southern end in front of the Leagues Club. So it's still 0-all. 7 going first half, but go to the sideline, Karina Brown.
Boys, I'm loving this match. Both teams showing great intent, and I just love when Dolphins back 3 or back 5, they just get going straight up the middle. Got a bit excited though, Averillo.
Yeah. Unbelievable stuff early on here as Ruben Garrick gets his first carry of the game. Speaking of fast players on the outside, now Paseka in the 2-man tackle. Kafusi brought him down there in concert with Morgan Knowles. 35 out here. Wakeham back on the inside. Better cross to Tom Trebojevic and now to brother Ben as he's too quick for Knowles and he was taken down the legs there by Felice Kafusi. Over halfway they go. Quick play the ball here, Manly on the second last play, and now Olakau'atu. He ran the top of Herbie Farnworth and he lost the footy. So they forced the error here, the Dolphins, on that run from Olakau'atu, and it remains no score here, Billy Moore. Dolphins and Manly with the first 7.5 minutes at Dolphin Oval.
As Karina Brown touched on, this exciting football end to end. You've got some firepower in the back 5 of both sides. Edge back rowers. Olakau'atu on the right hand side for Manly is dangerous up against a couple of other great back rowers. Finefiliaki, Lemuelu for the Finns. When you think about the ones, you got Hammer up against Tom Trbojevic. What quality. This game's got plenty to give.
It's a high quality medal, that's for sure, for these two sides. As here is Jermaine Osako, 35 out from his own line. Plath comes blindside, runs it himself here for the first 5 or 6, and now links up with Benro BK15, who's
he's such an improved player in 26.
Yeah, mentioned that, Benro BK15. 21 metres last week, 20 carries, scored a try last time these teams met, round 25 last year. 40 out centre field here, Dolphins on the attack, play 4, and now Nicarima dummies, and taken down there by Jake Trbojevic as it comes across here again to the Dolphins, and Morgan Knowles, 20 out centre field. Play it now here, Plath across to Nicarima, Tabuai Fido, cut out ball wide here for Cobbo, tries a little shake and bake there on Fogarty, and he's called here, Grant Atkins. Look up for a second. It'll be just a changeover. So there you go. Manly back on the attack, 15 out from their own line. Still no score here, by the way. 5 minutes played in this first half on ABC Sport. You're with Brett Sprigg, Billy Moore, Karina Brown. The first of these 5 days of footy across the Easter long weekend. Now a penalty for a high shot going Manly's way.
And this will be a relieving penalty. But it's exciting to watch. Both these sides are asking questions of the opposing defence, especially on the fringe around the BC defender. They're pushing, they're creating momentum, and then they're asking questions. So you're waiting for the crack to appear, but at the moment, they've been able to hold the defensive lines together.
The Dolphins wearing their heritage jersey tonight. It's the more familiar historical jersey. Over halfway here, Olakawatu for the Seagulls. Play at 20 in from the eastern side. Comes to Paseka. And all those guys I mentioned, Billy, had injury interruptions last year. He had the Achilles round 3 last year, so similar stage of the year, Taniela Paseka. They're keen to really build a strong body of work across this new campaign 26, albeit they're still chasing their first win. There's Tommy Turbo collared down there, 25 out in the field. Comes to Jake Trbojevic, first receiver. Now Fogarty across here. It comes off to Hopewadi in the corner, but he's run down by Isaiah Katoa. Still Manly's ball here, though, on the last. In fact, second last. Comes across here, Jake Trbojevic, and he charges back at the line. 10 out, 20 in western side. Now last place is Ref Atkins to Brooks, and now he dummies and takes on the last line. He's held up a metre shy, and so it will be a changeover, and the Dolphins from deep on their own line will have possession again. But still no score here at Dolphin Oval. Dolphins 0, Manly Warringah 0 here on ABC Sport. Time we go, Karina Brown.
That was a great defensive set from the Dolphins. How good was the tackle by Katoa? And then to finish it off with Tabuai Fido over the line.
Try saver, Karina, you're right.
Here they go on play 3, the Dolphins. Flick pass out the back from Farnworth was clever to find the target there in Cobbo. He'll now play at 25 out. Plath off the deck from dummy half. Back to Herbie Farnworth. Too quick for Jake Trbojevic, although Jake Turbo gets in from behind, and Paseka up in front. 5 short of the halfway. Second last here has a straight run of a dozen there from Felice Kafusi. And now last play for the Dolphins. Plath across to Isaiah Katoa. Running kick down to the wing here of Lehigh Hopewadi, and he skipped to the defensive line there where he's wrapped up by Fine Fuiaki. 17 out, 12 in from the western side here at that Leagues Club end of Dolphin Oval. So still no score. 11 out, 12 gone in the first half. NRL Thursday on ABC Sport. Brooks dummy half on play 3. Finds Tom Trbojevic, and now across to Fogarty. Olakawatu was too powerful there for Farnworth. Got some reinforcement though on defence, did Farnworth, in the shape of Lemuelu. 35 out for the Seagulls. Comes back to Garrick. He tries to dart his way around Tom Gilbert. Same 5 short of the halfway. Second last here for the Seagulls. Tom Trbojevic finds brother Jake, and now he's collected 40 out dead centre field. Play it there for Wakeham dummy half. To the left-hand side, Brooks. Now Benro, he kicks for the corner. A little too deep for Hopewadi. Tabuai Fido is there first for the home side, and he's wrapped up by 3 Seagulls. 15 out from his own line at Northern and Billy Moore.
Nice balanced attack from both sides there, going down the left and right hand side. The Manly left, which is probably the side they're not really favoured to go towards. They've actually stripped the Dolphins of numbers, and they're looking more lethal down that side of the park at the moment.
Cobbo is charging into Ruben Garrick. Will play flat quickly here. Nicarima off here on that left-hand side. Fed back on the inside. It's come to Morgan Knowles, the Englishman. He won 4 Super League titles at St Helens. His first NRL season. On halfway they go. Knowles involved again. Inside ball comes from Katoa. Back to Avarillo. And he's brought to ground here, 40 out from that southern line by Hetherington. Play it now, Plath. Last play, Dolphins. Kick from Nicarima. Up the night sky it goes. Trebojevic launches from fullback, and now Avarillo back Farnworth gets him first. 25 out and 10 in from the eastern side.
Absolutely nothing in this, Briggy. It's obviously 15 minutes in it, and it is absolutely frenetic. Good defence, good line speed. Everything about this game is high quality.
Manly come away quickly here to the left-hand side. Lehigh Pawadi stands in the tackle of Isaiah Katoa. On dummy half, Wakeham. On tackle 3 here for the Seagulls. Garrick had plenty of space for a second, but then he was collected out there by Nicarima and also Lemuelu. Over halfway they go. Midway through the set here for the Seagulls. Jake Trebojevic to Luke Brooks. Back to Tom Trebojevic. And he's now 40 out. Too quick for Nicarima. And Lemuelu wraps him up. Offloads back here to Wakeham. There's Tom Trebojevic. And now Olakawatu makes light work of 1. Light work of 2. Back to Turbo Tom, who streaks in behind the post and scores the first try of the game. Manly's in first. Tom Trebojevic scores the first try of Kieran Foran's reign as Sea Eagles coach. The visitors lead early. 4-0 kick to come after 15 minutes here, Billy Moore.
He started that and he finished it. The custodian for Manly, Tom Trebojevic, he skipped across the park and was just too big, too strong. He took 2 defenders and then around the back flicked the pass, kept it alive, and it ended up in the hands of Olakawatu, and one-on-one, you're not stopping him. He punched his way through the line, drew the fullback, and put Tommy Turbo away. Great try by the Manly Seagulls. They've deserved it. They earned this lead.
Touchline to go, Karina Brown.
Oh, that was sensational to watch, wasn't it? I was really enjoyed the fact the ball movement from Manly Seagulls, and then to Okawatu, how good is he? So strong, and then Turbo Tom under the post.
Yeah, that was vice captain and captain Olakawatu and Tom Trebojevic there. So
it's sloppy there by the Finns. That's what we talked about. Springy, their D doesn't match their attack, and that imbalance costs them in games.
Tom Trebojevic after 14 minutes here at Dolphin Oval, and now Jamal Fogarty is directly in front, 11 metres out. Fogarty spoke openly about the Seabold sacking during the week. He wasn't a fan of what happened, how it all transpired. He just thumps that ball over the black dot and into that very last throw of that northern grandstand here at Dolphin Oval. So it is Manly Warringah 6, the Dolphins 0 here on NRL Thursday on ABC Sport. The first game of NRL Round 5. Around the grounds, by the way, in the AFL, this is happening just down the road at the Gabba. Brisbane leads Collingwood 6-5-41 to 3-1-19 early in the second quarter there. And your texts are welcome, 0467920222. Paul says, hi, Spriggy, Billy and Karina. Hope there's plenty of oxygen bottles out there as the players will need some. I need it just watching. Yeah, it's been a fast, frenetic game, hasn't it, Billy?
It's been fast, but high quality in the form that Karina mentioned about the ball movement. Both sides are throwing it around with great skill, and then you've got defensive lines that are rushing up, and there's big... This is another problem that the Finns have had in 2026, Briggy, is these piggyback penalties. They can't produce any defensive pressure, and this allows the Manly side to get their way out of trouble, and they'll go on the attack. What they're doing is they're going 2 or 3 passes wide, and they're really asking questions. Great touch finder.
So penalty count is now currently 2-0. Dolphins having given away both penalties so far. Clayton's listing in Cowra, New South Wales. Both listing while picking up hay in Cowra, New South Wales. Fins up for Nick Clayton. The atmosphere here is bursting through the speakers, heaving in fact. 35 out from that northern line. Fogarty across to his half partner in Brooks. Inside ball, Ben Trebojevic, and he spins clear, not quite. 25 out centre field. Tackle 4 here for the Seagulls. He's Hetherington, angled run, taken down. 20 out, 10 in from that western side, and now played across here. Wakeham to Fogarty and Paseka, collected by 3 desperate Dolphins defenders there. 5 metres out, right-hand side of the post. Can Manly score again? Comes to Jake Trbojevic, and now Brooks, the Ben Trbojevic, Tommy Turbo goes to the corner, and Lehigh Hopewadi slides in to score. When he's not scoring them, he's going to set those tries up. Tom Trbojevic with a tip out wide to his winger, and Lehigh Hopewadi scores to make it Manly 10, Dolphins 0, kick to come Seagulls.
Well, put that down to the fact that the Finns took the foot off the throat by making the piggyback penalty come into play. Good touch finder by Fogarty. They were 40 off their own line, the Seagulls. First carry, they're over halfway, Spriggy. And then from that moment on, they asked some questions. And on the right-hand side, you've got Ola Kawadu, the strike weapon. Ben Trbojevic is not, in my opinion, the same lethal sort of player. But this left-hand side from the Seagulls, early on in this game, is stripping the Finns of numbers. And they did it again that time. And Tom Trbojevic, you will not see a better pass. Catch and pass in one slick motion. That was poetry in motion. Well done, the Seagulls. They've got some questions being asked themselves here, the Finns. They're in trouble.
They've scored 2 tries in 3 minutes. The Manly Warringah Seagulls. Touch on we go, Karina Brown.
Well, the Dolphins, I thought, had all the momentum early on. So for the Manly Seagulls to have swung this, they've done really well here from the piggyback penalties. And that was poetry in motion. I was right on the spot here. They stripped them from numbers. They've been doing it a few times. And how good was that for Lehigh Hopewadi? First try of 2026. As Fogarty lines up for the kick.
Fogarty 24 out here and 8 metres in from the western sideline. Right in front of us here as he kicks the right footer. 1 from 1 so far tonight for a 12-0 Manly lead. He swings it back, hits the post. Simple to play, and it will remain Seagulls 10, Dolphins 0 here at Dolphin Oval. 19 gone, 21 left first half. NRL Thursday on ABC Sport. 0467 920 222. Thanks, Billy. You may have given the Finns a kiss of death, similar to that delivered first round when they played the Rabbits. My wife suggesting I change my tip, says Gazpo Moth in Wollongong. Thank you for your text. There's a few more of these when I can find some short enough. Anyway, 0467 920 222. As it's Manly 10, the Dolphins 0. And we thought, well, if the Dolphins did this to the Seagulls, it could get ugly. But the Manly have had the ideal start here, Billy Moore.
They have, and Spriggy, the crowd, they're in shock.
Yes, silenced.
Because they were good in the first 5, but now they're on the back foot and Manly are coming.
They shift to the left again here, the Seagulls, 38 from their own line. Jake Trbojevic will play it now for Wakeham. Back to Hetherington, who stands in the tackle of Finefuiaki.
He's playing well, Hetherington.
Play up 15 short of halfway. Wakeham looks right, but goes left here to Ben Trbojevic. He bounced off the tackle there of Isaiah Katoa. Driven back to his own 40-metre line now for the Seagulls, who lead 10-0 here, midway through this opening half. NRL Thursday on ABC Sport. Daniela Paseka is taken down there by Tom Gilbert on halfway. Wakeham finds Brooks into the set. Up goes the kick. Launching off the wing, Cobo. Oh, kept his feet, lost the footy. Picked up by Garrick to Olakawatu. He's within 2 metres with a full set to work with here for the Seagulls. They come short side right, intercepted down here into the path of Cobo. It came off.
Yep.
Oh,
Knowles in the bin.
Morgan Knowles.
Yep.
So Morgan Knowles, professional foul, will sit 10. It happened deep on that far side of the ground, Billy. But the Englishman's going to go here. It'll be 13 on 12 and Manly ball inside Dolphins territory.
Yeah, Cobbo dropped it under a bit of pressure there from Manly players. He still should have caught it. Olakawatu gets up, picks up the loose throw scraps, and then goes downfield, plays it quickly, and Knowles is coming back into the defensive line, and the pass hits him.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
If it doesn't hit him, they score. That's why he's in the bin, because try scoring opportunity went begging just there. So, yeah, fair call.
Okay, opportunity here for the Seagulls again. They've already scored 2 tries through Tom Trbojevic and Lehigh Hopewadi. They're 11 out, dead centre field here from the Dolphins line, northern end. Brooks here to Tom Trbojevic, tip one again. Hopewadi, it was identical to the previous one. Hopewadi is claimed though this time 8 metres shy, deep in that northwestern corner of the ground. Dummy half Wakeham. On play 3 here for the Seagulls. Harrington's been busy early, and it takes 3 Dolphins to stop him. 6 out, left-hand side of the posts. Wakeham, open side right, he comes to Fogarty, and now Brooks run down by Nicarimo. Got the number, did well. 11 out, dead centre. Here they go. Wakeham, flat ball off to Fogarty. Lost by Aquato this time into the path of Kafusi. Alive there, so I think it's going to be a double knock on here and scrum feed Dolphins 10 out from their own line. Manly does lead 10-0. We've played 21 minutes. There is 19 left in the opening half. Let's go back to the touchline. Karina Brown.
I think Manly should be disappointed with that set. They've got one in the bin, and I think they just could have done a lot better there.
Adam on the rake, you're right, KB, and the Finns, geez, they needed that. Karina, they were against the wall, weren't they?
All sorts, yep.
So 10-0 remains Manly's lead here. Dolphins scrum 10 out centre field from their own line. As Jermaine Osako, who's Melbourne bound next year. Jermaine Osako.
Yeah, big boy by the Storm, yeah.
Scored last week against the Broncos in the Battle of Brisbane. Dolphins lost last start because Manly yet to have a win this year and have enacted interim coach Kieran Ford. There's a set restart going the Dolphins' way. As Plath goes from dummy half off to find his co-captain Gilbert. Play at 40 out, 20 in western side. Isaiah Katoa to Nicarima, and now Tabuai Fido to Farnworth was under pressure. And he's only just over halfway here for the Finns, who trail 10-0 at the hands of the Manly Warringah Seagulls on Thursday night at Dolphin Oval. Offload back here comes into the path of Nicarima, and now Farnworth. They shift from left to right. Cut out ball wide here for Osako. Takes on Hopewadi. Dragged toward the touchline here. He's 20 kilometres out from that southern line. And this will be second last play here for the Dolphins. Tabuai Fido off here to Kafusi. Makes a little break here. Feeds it back to Gilbert. Pass across down to Nicarima. Tries to wrong foot Olakawatu. Gets some support number so Tabuai Fido. And now again Gilbert. He is tackled on this last play. 10 out in front of the uprights in front of the leagues club. Plath to Katoa. And now on the bounce, it was awkward there for Avarillo. Whipped back here in the path, and no, it was Ford for Tabuai Fido. So Ford pass, which means Manly ball 20 out from their own line. Southern or Leagues Club end here in Redcliffe, where it is Manly 10, the Dolphins 0, and there is still 16:50 left in this first half, Billy Moore.
They've lacked polish, the Finns. Their last play on a couple of occasions has been botched, and that was an exact example of that. They had great field position. They had Manly at 6s and 7s. They weren't able to convert that to points. They've got to take those opportunities.
It's been 64% possession Manly's way to go with that 10-0 scoreline. Here they are on the attack again. Heard back from Wakeham to Garrick, and he backs his way there into Fine Fuiaki. Centre field 35 out from that northern line. Tom Trebojevic, always dangerous. And now Brooks, flat ball, Ben Trebojevic, back to his 5'8". Brooks calls a play here, tries to charge back on the inside there of Fine Fuiaki. He's wrapped up by Platt. Last play, Seagulls 20 out. Here they go, Tom Trebojevic off to Hopewadi. Again, trying to strip the Dolphins' defence for numbers on that right edge. Kick goes in from to the in-goal there for Hamiso Tabuai Fido to field it, and he'll take it 5 out from his own line, where he's tackled there. So now from dummy half goes Isaiah Katoa.
See, they're winning the yardage game, Manly. They're going up the park 80 metres every set of 6.
15 and a half left in this first half. It is still Manly Warringah 10, the Dolphins 0 here on ABC Sport. You're with Brett Sprigg, Billy Moore and Karina Brown. Set restart here the Dolphins' way. So a full set on the charge there from Tom Flegler. Had the recent rib injury. Of course, he missed 2 years, most of that with a shoulder injury. Here they go, Nicarima on this second tackle, 40 out from his own line. Back to Flegler, charging into that wall of Ronan White, and he's tackled 5 inside Seagulls territory. Flegler will play it there for Plath, across to Nicarima. Delayed the pass into Hamiso Tabuai Fido. Offloads to Farnworth. He darts back infield now. Lost the ball there under pressure from Corey Waddell. And now it's been lost here by the Dolphins into the path of Hopewadi, who gathers 45 out, and he is far too quick for Amarillo and the hammer, and he dives into score. Lehigh Hopewadi, well, that was costly from Finay Fuiaki on this right edge defence. And the Seagulls make good for their third try of the night. Hopewadi's second, and it's the Seagulls 14, Dolphins 0, kick to come.
Yeah, they're in trouble here, the Finns. They've still got 4.5 minutes until they get a full complement of players back on the field. And that was again the case, Karina, where they were lack polish, the back end of the six, they lost their way. The Manly defence deserves a bit of a rap here. They're producing a war, which is frustrating the Finns, but they're not sort of aiming their attack in any one spot. The Finns, they're backward and forward along the line, and they seem to lack penetration because they're not quite sure where they're attacking the Manly side at. They're playing real off-the-cuff style football. They've got with too many errors, they're missing opportunities, and that was the worst outcome they can have, to drop the ball back in the hands of one of the Manly Flyers.
Touchline, Karina Brown.
Well, I said before the start of the game that they've got number one in handling errors, and the last
points off the back of this kick. It's been stunning.
Touchline, Karina Brown.
How good was that line by Garrick? He was running so hard, and then the little step straight under. That was amazing.
And so the Seagulls, I was going to say, it's not quite there. They scored 28 points against Canberra in that round 1 Golden Point loss. Well, here is Fogarty. They're on track for their high score, that's for sure. Definitely. This will be 22-0. Fogarty makes no mistake from directly in front. And he's kicked 3 from 4 tonight. He's Bambi Orenga 22. The Dolphins 0 here at Dolphin Oval.
Spriggy, the thing about watching them, and obviously you and I are watching this game with Karina, the quality of the Manly performance up against a side that I thought was bound for finals this year. How have they not won a game? Manly side, this is stunning. They are playing brilliant football.
You did say that. That's the mentality of the coach sacked, the post the coach sacking week. But, they're playing for Kieran Foran, let's be honest. And if this is the Kieran Foran era, an early taste, sign him right now, Manly fans are probably saying.
He's going nowhere.
22-0, 5 minutes and 17 seconds left of the break here at a glorious Dolphin Oval on this Thursday night, but the crowd's certainly stunned. Here's a run from Jake Trbojevic, centre field, gains about 10, and this is on play 2, make it 3 now for Manly. Off the deck goes Simpkin to Ben Trbojevic. Another quick dozen here for the back rower, and it will be penalty here going Manly's way. So more ill discipline there for...
They're in trouble here.
Trbojevic gets clipped. Yeah, he's pointing to some blood there. Yeah, he's going to get sort of knocked up here, Ben Trbojevic, says referee Grant Atkins, but anyway.
They'll find touch here, and they're going to be, I was on report, but they're going to be on attack here, the Seagulls. They cannot afford another try defence before half-time.
It's Morgan Knowles again, is it? Who's on... let's see. Yeah,
it looks like
Morgan Knowles on the ball. So he already had sitting with a professional foul earlier, and now on report for a high shot on Ben Trbojevic. So that makes the penalty count now 5-0. All of them Manly's, and the scoreboard reads 22-0. I'll tap 30 out here. Comes back to Corey Waddell. And he had 2 costly errors against the Roosters last week in defence. Played here for his dummy half in Simpkin. And now Brooks involved on its way there to Bullymore. Comes back now to Fogarty, to Brooks. Inside ball, Ben Trbojevic pops out the offload here. On the bounce, it sits there now for Tolotau Kola. And he's claimed 5 out, left-hand side of the post. This is only play 4 now for Manly as Waddell presses his way back toward the upright. He's stopped there, 8 metres shy of that Dolphins goal line. Simpkin on to Fogarty. They come to the right-hand side. Ola Kawata almost stepped over the top there of Lemuelu. He'll play it now. 5 out from the Dolphins line. It comes to Fogarty. He puts in the kick behind the post. Brooks is there. Does he grab it before the dead ball? I reckon he does. Are you kidding me? Manly are in again.
Wow, stunning. Absolutely stunning, this performance by the Seagulls.
26-0, kick to come. This game will be done before half-time. And this is the ideal, the perfect, the most unbelievable start to Kieran Foran's coaching reign. How long, we don't know. But the Seagulls have scored every point of the game so far. And now Luke Brooks joins the party. He just was on the end of that kick from his fellow playmaker in Jamal Fogarty. And he scores right on the dead ball line behind the posts. 26-0, kick to come. Let's go to the touchline. Karina Brown.
Oh, that was beautiful to watch. I love seeing Luke Brooks play direct. You don't get much more directed behind the posts. But yeah, they absolutely shell-shocked the Dolphins, and so am I, to be honest.
I'm just amazed at the cohesion they're playing with, Spriggy, for having 0 wins in the season. And that was an exact example of it. The 2 halves who've only been together playing for, for a month. The way they read each other then, and Brooks was able to time his run to perfection, great way to kick. That was something that the teams do when they're in sync with each other.
Extraordinary. So, minute 50 left here before half-time. Cody directly in front with the conversion. And he's now 4 from 5 tonight. Manly 28, Dolphins 0. Old mate from Umina says, hopefully, obviously no one in the box has seen Eagles' second halves. Hopefully I'm wrong. No, 28-0, that would have to be pretty exceptional.
Well, I think the problem...
They've equalled, by the way, their highest score of the year inside the opening half of footy of this game.
Exactly. Takes two sides in a contest to actually turn things around. Could Manly fall off the cliff? Maybe, but the question mark is the Finns. They've got points in them, but at the moment they're not able to pull the trigger on that because they've lost their way. The last 30 minutes, they have not been sighted down the Manly end of the park.
Tony from Mingaris, love my Seagulls. My worry is their defence has been pathetic for the last couple of seasons. Go Manly. Yeah, a few Manly fans texting in 0467 920 222. Very happy with this performance so far. By the way, half-time at the Gabba, also here in Brisbane. The Brisbane Lions 62 leads Collingwood 33. The traditional Easter Thursday or Maundy Thursday game of this long weekend. And of course, NRL round 5 starts here. Here's Tom Trbojevic, claimed here on tackle 4, 30 out, 20 in from the western side. Here's brother Ben, gains a quick 8, 9, 10 metres. Claimed down there by Francis Molo. Play it now, 40 out on the second last. There's a run from Jake Trbojevic over halfway, but again, penalty going Manly's way.
You're right, and they're going to probably play this whole set of 6 out. Jake Trbojevic is playing his game of the last 2 seasons. It's phenomenal how good he's been tonight. Last week, 2 carries, 17 metres. I'm not sure how many carries he's had so far, but he's had 7 carries. Phenomenal. So, to taking the 2 points.
Yeah.
He's an exact reflection of maybe the change of era. That the new coach is a new Jake.
Getting the 2 points from a halfway line.
He'll take a good kick.
So Jamal Fogarty's just, having a drink here. He's going to line this up as the seconds tick down to half-time. He's going to have to kick this 52 metres. Which would make it a 30-0 scoreline here. So, it's quite extraordinary. Already 4 from 5 tonight. Of course, this will test his distance. It will test anyone's distance. Jamal Fogarty. Now the breeze is at his back to help him. Here comes Fogarty. Right foot kick has got some distance, but it's just offline. And still alive here as WI Fido brings it back for the very last play, and he's tackled 20 out from his own line, and it is indeed half-time. The most extraordinary half of football here from Manly Warringah Seagulls, who have been down and out, sacked their coach this time last week practically. That was Seibold's last game, and now Kieran Foran has inspired his team to a 28-0 half-time scoreline as the away team here at Dolphin Oval. Tries to Tom Trbojevic after 14 minutes. They scored those first 2 in the space of 3 minutes. That was Hopewadi's first after 17. Hopewadi again in the 25th minute. Ruben Garrick in the 33rd, and Luke Brooks only a few minutes later on the end of a great kick from his house partner in Jamal Fogarty. Fogarty is 4 from 6 now with that missed penalty goal attempt. Morgan Knowles was sin-binned midway through that first half for a professional foul. Also on report for a separate incident, a high shot on Ben Trbojevic. And the Seagulls 28 lead the Dolphins 0. Billy Moore.
Stunning, Spriggy. He came here looking for an exciting clash. The first 10 minutes was brilliant, going from one end of the park to the other. No one was suspecting what was going to unfold. Basically, a point a minute from that moment on to the visitors, and a side that hadn't won anything this year, sacked the coach during the week. Bounce back factor, baby. That's what we've seen here. And you can just see it, a team that's come together. And what's stunning is the precision and the continuity, cohesion they're playing with. It hasn't been there for a long time. And all Manly fans will not know more about it than me, but it's just been an absolute breath of fresh air. And Kieran Foran, if they're playing for him, it's working. But you're seeing so much strike power in a team. Oli Kawada on the right-hand side causes grief. Down this left-hand side, Tommy Trbojevic has torn them apart. They're getting yardage through the middle of the park. They're winning every metric you can think of, Spriggy, and right now, from a Finns point of view, they'd be frustrated because a lot of the pressure being put on them has been at their own hands, where they've dropped and tackled 5. They haven't taken opportunities. They had a man in the bin. They conceded 3 tries in that period. They just haven't aimed up defensively, and Manly are not going to slow down here. I can imagine Kieran Foran will be giving his first ever half-time speech. So imagine what he's saying to them about, we do not stop, we do not relent. They're in trouble here, the Finns.
Give us some numbers here, Billy. 66% possession across the opening 40 for the Seagulls.
Wow.
The other one's quite telling. Completion rate, Dolphins, 60%.
Stop the fight. There it is. 60%. That's subpar for an NRL team that I thought was going to be top 4.
And not perfect, Manly either.
No?
83%. They had a couple of errors in attack,
Yes.
which so they could have been far worse here for the Finns. Line breaks 4-1. Offload 7 apiece. Penalty count I mentioned. 5-0 Manly's way. Ruck infringements 2-1 Manly's way. And so I beg your pardon, it's a total of 2 the ruck infringements if you count the inside the 10 against Manly, and Morgan Knowles on report. There was also sin bin, as I said, separate incidents in that first half. I'll get to your text shortly. Karina Brown, your thoughts from the sideline, this stunning first half of football for the Seagulls?
Oh, it's been absolutely beautiful to watch. It looks effortless, as you're saying, Billy. Like they're just in some sort of Manly flow state. It's beautiful.
And all run meters, you're looking at 1,200 for the Seagulls as against 573 for the Dolphins.
So double.
Yeah.
Every basic opportunity to go on twice as far. And the thing that the byproduct of that is the Finns' petrol tank is going to be a lot lower. Second half's going to get a lot harder.
0467 920 222.
They've actually made tackle-wise, this is the key Brad tells us giving me, Manly's made 106 tackles, the Finns have made 222.
So again, double or more.
And that you'll pay for that.
Call me, Tim in Pottsville says, call me harsh, but a team shouldn't be playing good for a new coach. They should be playing great week to week for their fans. Peter Rockhampton says, it's obvious that the Manly playing group are to blame for the demise of ex-coach Seabold, with them playing so well after 3 losses from 3 games. Jerry from Narooma says, I'm sitting in my garage in Canberra with a stubby and the radio on, picturing myself in a Manly jersey. Good on you, Jerry. Does this prove, asked Luca, that the players were tanking to get their coach sacked? There's a few texts along that sentiment, and I don't think it's as straightforward as that by any means. When I say that Kieran Foran's inspiring them, there is something to that, Billy. The team we're seeing here tonight is a very different Manly outfit to the one that, well, it's not physically, but there's just something that sparked them.
Manly sides that I played against and I've seen win grand finals, I think they've always had Manly DNA in the coaching box, former players. So I get it. That's their formula, and if it ain't broke, why try and fix it? So having 4 in there is an asset.
How come the Manly boys, that was Paddy in WA asking the question about how can they play this well now but not for their sacked coach for the first 3 weeks. The Gear Stewart from Kalinga, can the Finns split the result in the second half as the Seagulls are soaring?
They do have enough points in them, the Finns, but at the moment they're not giving themselves a chance to pull the trigger correctly.
That'd be a record comeback, 28.
It might be stunning.
So Gaz in Liverpool says, what are the chances of the Finns getting off the bus and the Eagles going to sleep in the second half? Well, even if that happens, I still think they're pretty safe at 28 block. But
plus, also, as I said, this is Kieran Foran's first half-time address.
Yeah.
There's going to be some magic in that.
He'd be real, sort of, I reckon he'd be more sort of quiet, the intense. That'd be how he'd deliver, I reckon.
Yeah.
You're like yourself sometimes.
Are you going to let me down? Are you going to let the fans down?
Yeah.
It's all about you, the players. Aim up.
This rubbish, Manly, you cost me 2 points in my tipping. Why couldn't they play this the last 4 games? Think you ployed losses, get Seabold the sack. Why didn't they say something instead of playing like amateurs, said Joy. There's all those sort of theories about whether they were playing. I don't think any player goes out to lose games, put it that way. So.
I couldn't imagine that, but I did hear the rumour mill inside the circles I mixed with that some were tanking, which I couldn't fathom. But when you see this evidence and the cohesion they're playing saying with Spriggy, almost like the breadcrumbs are leading to something.
Mike says he's not done anything, Kieran, for him. They'll be lucky to win the game. No bin, no lead. You're confusing luck and competency over 65% possession. They should be leading. But they have that possession because they've had more of the ball because of the fact they've forced errors on...
Well, their defence has been very good. They've only had to do 106 tackles, we'll get into that, but their defence, every time it's been called on, has delivered.
I'm sorry, the story in this game, in a lot of ways, is the coach in Kieran Foran. That's been the last 6 days at Brookvale as far as the whole saga surrounding Manly in this immediate post-Seabold era. 28-0 is their score, remarkably, at the halftime break here at Dolphin Oval. More from Billy Moore and Karina Brown and myself very shortly. In the AFL, it is half-time. Brisbane 62 leads Collingwood 33, and we'll keep you across all that. Keep your text coming, 0467 920 222. Right now, it's time for ABC News.
ABC News, hello, I'm William Howard Evans. Federal opposition leader Angus Taylor has continued to criticise the government's handling of the fuel crisis during a national address of his own. In his response to the Prime Minister's address last night, Mr Taylor says Australia needs to be drilling for more oil and securing its own future. He's also taken credit for the government's decision to halve the fuel excise and accused it of being too slow to respond to the international crisis.
And Australians deserve two things in this difficult period. You deserve clarity and leadership. Regrettably, both have been absent from our government. Initially, the government denied there was a crisis. Then, after admitting there was a problem, it failed to act with urgency.
Iran says it will step up its military actions following repeated threats from the US. John O'Wakely has the latest.
Tehran says it will press on with the war in the Middle East until the US and Israel face permanent regret and surrender. The threat follows a national address from US President Donald Trump, where he said he would hit Iran hard in the coming weeks and that the country was essentially decimated. An Iranian spokesperson has hit back at those assertions, saying US and Israeli assessments of Tehran's military capabilities were incomplete. He added that Iran plans to step up its military actions with more destructive attacks against its adversaries.
Accommodation providers say bookings for this weekend over Easter are down compared to previous years. Some hotel owners have had cancellations, while others still have rooms available when they'd usually be fully booked. Business groups are using this opportunity to urge people not to cancel their travel plans. Brooke Bauer is the owner of the Golden Reef Hotel in Bendigo, Victoria, and says it's a difficult time.
Normally, Easter Thursday, the town would be well and truly booked out, especially for Easter Saturday. But this year's a bit different, so it's hard when you have last-minute cancellations and you're trying to fill them.
3 more communities in Western Australia will be able to access disaster recovery assistance in the wake of ex-severe tropical cyclone Narelle. The state and federal governments have agreed to extend support for the shires of Ashburton, Upper Gascoyne and Yalgoo. That's in addition to the shires of Exmouth, Carnarvon and Shark Bay, where support has been available since early in the week. The Northern Territory's Shadow Attorney General says it's taken far too long to investigate the use of force by Northern Territory police officers who were involved in the death in custody of Kumanjaya White in Alice Springs last year. In January, the ABC revealed prosecutors were waiting on input from an unknown interstate police force before deciding whether to recommend laying charges. Today, NT Police has confirmed the review was received and is being assessed before a brief is provided to the Department of Public Prosecutions. Labor's Chansey Payak says the matter needs to be treated with urgency.
It's causing significant distress, anxiety and hurt for many people across Central Australia, particularly the family of Kumanjaya White, who continue to search for answers into the death of Kumanjaya White.
NASA says the 4 astronauts it sent into space on the Artemis 2 are feeling good. The spacecraft is now orbiting the Earth in its first crewed mission to the moon in half a century. The high-stakes mission marks NASA's boldest step yet towards returning humans to the lunar surface later this decade. NASA's Director of Flight Operations, Norm Knight, says the astronauts on board are adjusting.
At Flight Day 1 and Flight Day 2, you might not feel like eating a lot. And that's just part of it. Your body is acclimating to zero G. So right now they're working hard. They are doing what they need to do. They sound great on the loops. That was really a good signal to us that they're feeling well.
To sport, West Coast have made 3 force changes for Saturday's clash with Sydney at Perth Stadium as they chase a 3rd straight win. Small forward Matt Owies comes into the side for his first game of 2026, along with key defender Sandy Brock and forward Malachi Champion. Elliot Yeo and Jacob Newton are injured while Devon Robertson is suspended. Fremantle have named an unchanged side for their trip to face the Crows, though Adelaide have recalled several big guns, including forward Taylor Walker and captain Jordan Dawson. Plus, Australian basketballer Dyson Daniels has starred for the Atlanta Hawks in their big win over Orlando in the NBA.
Throws it, goals it.
Get your footy fix
Live and ad-free with ABC Listen.
AFL, NRL, men's and women's.
This season, don't let life get in the way of the footy. Hear it on ABC Listen.
ABC sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership.
Offload back here to Wakeham. There's Tom Trbojevic, and now Olakawatu makes light work of 1. Light work of 2. Back to Turbo Tom, who streaks in behind the post and scores the first try of the game. Manly's in first. 5 metres out, right-hand side of the post. Can Manly score again? Comes to Jake Trbojevic, and now Brooks, the Ben Trbojevic, Tommy Turbo goes to the corner, and Lehigh Hopewadi slides in to score. And now it's been lost by the Dolphins into the path of Hopewadi, who gathers 45 out, and he is far too quick for Amarillo and the hammer, and he dives in to score. Lehigh Hopewadi, well, that was costly from Finay Fuiaki. Dolphins defending, Seagulls on the attack, Simpkin to Brooks, and now Ruben Garrick just slingshots his way forward with all the pace and all the power and scores behind the sticks. It's Manly 20, Dolphins 0.
The quality of the Manly performance up against a side that I thought was bound for finals this year. How have they not won a game?
5 out from the Dolphins line. It comes to Fogarty. He puts in the kick behind the post. Brooks is there. Does he grab it before the net ball? I reckon he does. Are you kidding me? Manly are in again.
Wow, stunning. Absolutely stunning, this performance by the Seagulls.
26-0. Kick to come. This game will be done before half-time.
ABC sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership
On your radio, ABC Sport Digital Radio.
and ABC Listen.
Yeah, 28-0 the halftime scoreline here at Dolphin Oval on the Redcliffe Peninsula, which is where NRL Round 5 gets underway across this Easter long weekend. You're with Brett Sprigg alongside Willie Moore and Karina Brown, a couple of Queensland legends. And the second half is just seconds away here. You heard right, 28-0, Manly leads the Dolphins. Here we go. You can keep your text coming as well, 0467 920 222. As the Dolphins charge back into the defensive line here. Tackled and playing it out there is Francis Molo. So the 25 out here from that southern line. Plath dummy half. Across here to Knowles. And now Nikarima darts on the inside there of Garrick. And Garrick puts him down now. 40 out, 20 in western side. Plath back open side right. And again, a strong looking run here from Tom Flegler. Flegler will play it here back to Plath. On this second last play, Nikarima rips it back on the inside for Farnworth. And he's pinned down there by Simpkin and also Jake Trbojevic. Mentioned Jake Trbojevich's first half. I'll give you his numbers again shortly, Billy, as here they go. The Dolphins, the last play kick from Isaiah Katoa. And it goes here. And Tom Trbojevic is absolutely mixed by, firstly, Lemuelu coming in strong. And he's slow getting up here in the Manly captain.
He got hammered. Whether there's anything foul in it, watch the replay.
Sort of as he was coming down, he was poised, and Lemuelu, I think, did most of the right things and came in low in the tackle. Here we go. Ooh, actually, he might just get a bit low with the shoulder. It's hard to tell because there's a player in the way. At the other angle, whoa, that's a shoulder into Trbojević's jaw. That's why he's dazed, and he's on report. On report is Lemuelu. Oh, action-packed way to start the first 30 seconds of the second half.
And unfortunately for the Finns, it's the usual formula. They get the Manly down the Manly end of the park, and they give them a piggyback penalty out, which I think happened at least 4 times.
So it was 5-0 the penalty count in the game. Now it'll be 6-0.
And the majority of those were piggyback penalties.
Yes.
You get Manly out of pressure, out of danger.
So Jamal Fogarty just pumps that ball over the western touchline, not far away from Karina Brent, we'll get to very shortly. Garrick will tap here. There's another ball on the field here, so referee Grant. Joey Atkins just sends the play back. Garrick off here to Olakau'atu. The Manly vice-captain up over halfway inside Dolphins territory. Is that a man? Oh, it's a Redcliffe chant ringing around Dolphin Oval. I was wondering what that was. 40 out centre field. Played there by Bullimore. The former Bronco, goes to the left-hand side. Here they go, up the left edge, 25 out from that southern line. Played there again by Tolutau. Brooks receives it now on to Corey Waddell, and Waddell hits the deck. In the tackle of Knowles, 22 outs in the field. Back to Fogarty. Back on the inside now for Tom Trbojević. Feeds it back again now to Brooks, who's set upon by 3 defenders. In there first was Fine Fuiaki. Play it now again. Simka dummy half. Crossfield bomb comes from Fogarty. Through the air goes Faulalo. Rips it away from Selwyn Cobbo, but he stands in the tackle. It'll be a changeover. 5 away from that southern line. Deep in that southwestern corner of Dolphin Oval, where it's Manly Warringah 28. The Dolphins 0. Let's go back to the touchline. Karina Brown.
Got a couple of halftime messages, boys, for the Dolphins. Quite simply, be better. Run harder, tackle harder. That's the stuff we control, so control it. For Manly, Kieran is really happy. Keep doing what they're doing, but just be mindful of the momentum shift.
Absolutely. As it pops back out here for the Dolphins, and tackled out there, ball and all is Averillo. Play at 20 out, 20 in from the eastern side. And now Jermaine Sarko. In fact, it's Fine Fuiaki there on a centre field run. He ran like a winger. 30 out centre field. Now goes in the back row of Lemuelu, who's just shoved it back into the bonds of his teammate Max Platt. Loose ball pounced on here by Brooks, and now a running chip and chase here from Tolutau. Hammer goes with him. Tabi Waifado gets there first. Escapes the lunging tackler, but he's collected down there eventually. He's been out to his own line. Hammer so Tabi Waifado will play it there for Nicarima. Across to Farnworth. Dolphins back on the attack. They trail 28-0. Here goes Averillo out on that right edge, and he was run down from behind out there. Brooks in there with Hopewadi. Hopewadi tackles Farnworth. Farnworth slips in with ease. Bounced off Jake Trbojević. He gets towards halfway here, Farnworth. Shoves out the pass here to Averillo, and it's play 3 for the Finns inside Manly territory. They need points and need them every single carry just about. Here they go through Tom Flegler. Flegler offloads again. Good second phase play here for the Dolphins. But Knowles with the right-hand side. It's gathered by Nicarima off that bouncing ball. Shares it back now to Flegler, and Flegler is claimed 25 out centre field. Tackle 4 here for the Dolphins. Plath off to Knowles. Takes the contact of Waddell. No real gain there for the Englishman. Now Platt just inside the Manly red zone. Off the step, the kick now from Katoa. Launching off the back there, Cobbo, but not forward by Cobbo first. So first touch Dolphins. It'll be a Manly scrum feed, or in fact last place, or Manly Warringah play the ball 10 metres out from their own line at Northern. And it remains Billy Moore Seagulls 28, Dolphins 0.
Yeah, well, they've shown a few signs in the second half. They've lifted the fins in intensity, but what concerns me is their offloading. A lot of the times they either drop it or the person's about to receive the offload is not ready or in a better position. They're offloading for the sake of offloading. They need to have quick play the balls to dent this Manly defensive line more so than offloading.
5 minutes played, second half here on ABC Sport. Thursday night footy, the first game around 5. And it's shared through their hands here. The Fogarty now back on the inside to Olakau'atu for the Seagulls. At 35 out from his own line. Happy to protect this 28-0 lead here. And there is Ethan Bullimore.
Better set of 6 defensively there on the fins.
Tackle 40 out. This is the last now for the Seagulls. Brooks kicks from just inside 40. High down towards the chest of Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow. Dolphins go back on the attack. And by the time he's tackled, Tabuai-Fidow is 25 out from his own line. One of the leagues club at the southern end of the ground. So here they go again. Off to Cobbo. Got away from Garrick. Now he's stopped in the tackle of Olakau'atu. Play at 30 out. Onto it, Tabuai-Fidow. And now Asako catching and trying to just pace his way through centre field. Didn't go too far. Katoa back to his fullback. Tabuai-Fidow can't get away from Simpkin. And down low was Toa Taukola.
He's hurt too, I think.
Yeah, he's slow getting up here. Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow will play it properly here. Open side left. It comes to Isaiah Katoa. Offloads back to Platt.
Geez, that's unlucky.
Brown Atkins had called held.
Just simultaneous call it because there's a bit of a hole there, Platt.
6.5 gone second half. Kick from Kuta Nikarima. Up it goes. High in the air. And, Faulolo is clobbered down there by Farnworth. They'll play it there for the Seagulls. Back on the attack they go. Ruben Garrick, who was among their first half try scorers. As I said, 28-0 remains their lead. He'll get to your text shortly, 0467 920 222. And now Lehigh Hopewadi can't bust through, 30 out from his own line. Simpkin shares it with Ben Trebojevic. He darts across Morgan Knowles, but Knowles' second effort gets him. 8 short of the halfway. Played quickly there towards Simpkin, off to Tom Trebojevic, and now he's driven back. 5 metres inside Dolphins territory for the Manly captain. Again, slow getting up. And the fans hate this because they're not getting long sort of delays in back play for their own players. Yet when a Manly player is down, ref blows time off.
Yeah, I don't know why he's blowing time off.
So,
unless there's foul play involved,
unless he thinks there's a hip drop or anything untoward, it's not a hip drop. It's just he has 3 players around him. Third man in field. Does he? Yeah. He sort of comes. He lands awkwardly on the back there, Tom Trebojevic. So he's having a chat here, Grant Atkins, to have a listen if we can. And he's going to have.
And that's fair enough. He should go. He should go.
He comes down heavy on his head.
They've stopped the game for an inquisition for no foul play. If he's going to say slow the game or stop the game so I can have a bit of a rest, you've got to come off. Yeah. I like that rule.
So he's not happy about it, Tom Trebojevic. The trainer will go with him. And into the action comes Josh Feldy, who former West Tiger, who he actually debuted against the Seagulls. In 2023. And I mentioned Paul Bryant. Simeone Laiafi debuted last week, but Josh Feldy playing his first game here as a Seagull. Comes back here to Fogarty, and now Clayton Faulalo. It's been lost, gathered by Clayton Faulalo, and that will be a changeover. The last little kick there from
Faulalo. That was pretty to watch, Spriggy. He nearly got in the backfield, and now there's some tough carries. They've got to lift now, the Finns. They've been out-muscled here on their home ground.
So here goes Jermaine Osako, the Dolphins. They still trail 28-0, that halftime scoreline. We've played 8 minutes in this second half. NRL Thursday on ABC Sport with Brett Sprigg, Willie Moore and Karina Brown. Now the run from Francis Moller, right short of the halfway. Comes here back to Nicarima. Left edge now Farnworth. Got away from Falalo. Still going Farnworth. Run down from behind by Fogarty. Play at 5 inside Manly territory. Nicarima. Across here to Tom Flegler. And Flegler, this is last play coming up here for the Finns. 8.5 gone second half. Isaiah Katoa off a couple of steps. High kick and off. W.I. Fadou travels through the air. He comes down ball and all. And there was nothing untoward in there other than it will be a changeover. And Manly's ball.
You watch that. It was a set play. The bomb goes up. The hammer comes through. He was hunting that ball and it was hunting the contest. He outleapt the foot.
Tolotau Collar was back there at fullback for the Seagulls. We took Dvorbich off the ground.
He outjumped him easily.
Yeah.
That's one of their strike weapons, the Finns.
So, here they go on the left-hand side. The Seagulls and the Dolphins defence envelops Leho Hopewadi. Play it now. Comes to Benro BK15. This is play 4 now for Manly. 28-0 they lead. It's going to be a set restart going Manly's way. So a full set, 35 out from their own line. Comes in centre field now for Corey Waddell. And he'll play it 40 out, northern end. It's come across here again now to Olakawatu. And he steamrolls Cody Nicarima. And Olakawatu comes towards halfway. Players throw the boot. So someone's lost one of their boots and the opponent's chucked it away here. So it's going to be penalty Manly. Yeah, he's just Brett Atkins having a chat to having fun with it. Don't grab his boot and toss it away. So it was Olakawatu who lost his shoe. And he threw it towards you, Karina, I think, not far away from you on the sideline.
Yeah, I tried to catch it. That's just silly by the Dolphins. They need to control this.
They could pay a heavy price for that silly penalty, you're right. The Manly forwards have run for 720 metres. The Finns forwards, 246. They're winning it in the middle of the park.
Penalty count 7-0 by my count now, and that was the most ludicrous of them as far as preventable for the team defending. So Manly here on the attack again, 35 out, 20 in from the western side is where Bullymore is tackled and playing it. Comes through hands now again. Fogarty off to that left edge. Waddell comes back to Fogarty. A little show and go as he takes on Flegler. 25 out centre field. Coming in late there, Lemuelu. Already placed on report from earlier offence. And now another penalty here going Manly's way. The slow Dolphins defence.
Well, he was in the play the ball area, Flegler, so I can see why it's a penalty. Behind the rush. If they're going to have any chance in this contest, which may have already been out of their
snuffed out.
Out of their possibility, they're going to go to 2. So a try there would have been death for the contest. But 2 points, well, they're 30 behind. It's a pretty big bridge.
It is the biggest bridge ever that they're going to have to overcome to win a game from here. So there you go. Jamal Fogarty will be having his shot in front of the league southern end of the ground. He'll be no more than 12 metres out and a very slight angle to the right of the post to make it 30 points to 0.
And we haven't heard the crowd really rip, which is a shame because that's a big thing about this venue. It's so close. There's so much passion. It's one of the great amphitheatres for rugby.
It means we can hear KB clearer. Down to you, Karina.
Well, they've got a bit of a chant going at the moment.
What's that? We want Trey.
Yeah.
Trey Fuller.
Yeah, we want Trey.
So do we.
That's a very specific chant from those fans behind you, KB. There we go. I can see where you are down there on the 20-metre line. Okay. Here's Jamal Fogarty to make it 30 points to 0. Here he comes. And he just cannons that ball onto the deck of the Leagues Club to make it Manly Warringah 30, the Dolphins 0. And we've now played 13 minutes in this second half. NRL Thursday on ABC Sport. Simeon Lismore says, Spriggy, love you, but is there any reason why Quentin Hull is not doing this game tonight? Yes, the Gabba, where the Brisbane Lions are facing Collingwood. And by the way, thanks to Ramona Tim, it's 76 plays, 39 in the third quarter of that game. That's why you're hearing Q, not hearing Q here, and hearing me instead. Good chairman on the team, just enjoying ABC Sport Radio, sitting at the mouth of the Fanning River around the fire, drinking rum and enjoying the radio plus a full moon. Go the Cowboys. That's from Phil, Charters Towers. Good on you, Phil. Great to hear from you. And Manly still leads here, 30 points to 0 at Dolphin Oval. 25 out, 20 in from the western side. Here's where Olakau'atu will play it now. Simpkin back to Garrick, and he gains half a dozen. This has been the most extraordinary performance for a team that was down and out. And I know more texts are coming through theorising about Manly not trying in the first month of the season. Here comes Leha Hopewadi. Maybe I'm naive, but I can't imagine, for all the reported discontent between Anthony Seibold and certain players, his Felony has tackled 40 out from that southern line. Last play Manly. Fogarty puts up the high kick. Tabuai Fido will launch from down there. It's come off his chest.
Fair penalty.
Penalty Dolphins. There was an early jumper up there in Tolotau Kola.
Yeah, he's jumped well before the ball was in the vicinity.
So that's the first penalty of the game going the Dolphins' way. After the first 8 went the way of the Sea Eagles.
53 minutes in. That's a long time before you get your own penalty. I suppose that's credit to the Manly team, their defence, the way they've been playing. There hasn't been any penalties obviously warranted their way.
Whitey says if Manly was a racehorse, there would be a steward's investigation. I just don't think that's a thing that would. Maybe I'm just naive, but there's something about this team tonight, and yes, it's all those things. But I can't ever imagine players not trying because of a coach that didn't like. 40 out from that southern line. Here they go. Nicarima off to Garrick, and now he's been taken home. So back to back penalties here for the Finns. So what a range at pause. And this time he's called the high shot there, Grant Atkins on Nicarima. So it still remains here 30 points to 0.
Great attacking opportunity. Let's see what the Finns can do. Put up or shut up right here.
So Farnworth, it's up 40 out here. Nicarima. By the way, did you see the Perth Bears have named their mascot? It's Cody. K-O-D-I, and they had a signing thing today as well for Cody. I thought, have they signed Cody Nicarima? Anyway, left-hand side they come. There is the aforementioned Nicarima onto Olakau'atu, 15 out, 20 in from the western side, and this is play 3 here for the Dolphins. Can they find their first points tonight? Morgan Knowles catching and darting, and he's claimed here by Jake Trbojevic. 9 out, dead centre. It comes to the right-hand side now as Isaiah Katoa off to Fine Fuiaki, and 3 now. 4 Sea Eagles stop him, a metre shy of that northern in-goal area. It's come back to Knowles, who lost his footing at first receiver, and no real gain there. He'll play at 10 out. Last play for Dolphins, who trail 13-0 at the hands of the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles. And the pass from Katoa was a little too hot there for Lemuelu. It's come off his shoulder and into the path of Olakau'atu. Manly goes back on the attack again.
Great D there by the Sea Eagles. They repelled everything the Finns threw at them. That's been the story of the night. Yeah, the 30's good, but it's the nil portion that I imagine Coach Ford will be very impressed with.
Aaron says Manly played pretty good last week, got 0 penalties and thought the effort was good against possibly a top 4 side. Of the Manly supporter, I'm not surprised they had clicked after a new halves pairing. It takes time. Thank you, Aaron, for your insights as a Sea Eagles fan. 8 short of the halfway here is where it's played by Lehigh Hopewadi. Simpkin off to Corey Waddell, and Waddell is tackled metre inside Dolphins territory. 30 points to 0. The visitors keep their lead. Simpkin here on the second last. Goes himself from dummy half and almost got away from Francis Molo. He got to the 50-metre line here as Tolotaukola receives a pass from Brooks. Last play kick from Tolotaukola goes up in the air, fed back here by Hopewadi, socked forward by Brooks off the chest. Oh, it's going to be 6 more. Deemed played at by the Dolphins. 6 more Manly, 15 outs with Trebojevic. He'll play it now. Brooks dummy half off to Felady and claimed 8 metres out, left-hand side of the post. That was a dubious decision there from Rev Grant Atkins. Open side right. Inside ball, Fogarty finds Corey Waddell, and he's to within 7 metres now, left-hand side. Now a set restart, so a full set here, inside 10 from Dolphins line, and it's out there with Ben Trebojevic. Played on that 10-metre line. Open side right, Luke Brooks. Back now to Hetherington, so back in the action. Angles his run there into front to Smolo, and also in there is Kurt Donahue. Play it now, they come right-hand side. Simpkin to Fogarty, dummies. Can't get away from Knowles. Nor Lemuelu. Play it here, tackle 3 now for the Sea Eagles. And Olakawara 2 goes in to score. He just bustles his way over. More punishment for the home side. 34-0 Manly.
Well, body language counts. It says everything right now to me. Heads bound. The Finns players, they realise this has slipped. One of their faithful at the heartland ground here on the peninsula of Redcliffe. It's one of their worst performances. I think I've seen them in their fourth year of this competition, and their defence has been brittle. 34 points have been scored against them, and that was basic. Olakawara, 1 pass off the ruck. Of course it's going to go to him, and no one basically touched him. Cody Nikarima, he just brushed him aside. Herbie Farnworth didn't come in to assist. There was no speed off the line. There was no urgency from Marker. That's very poor football by the Finns. And to Manly, congratulations. They have turned up and shown their colours. They played for each other and they played for the coach.
Touchline we go, Karina Brown.
Yeah, it's a poor night to be a Dolphin. Even that attacking set they had before was just poor. They had just lacked finesse the whole time, and then Manly get down there too strong. Olakawara, how good was that trade? He's had a very damaging game as well.
Olakawara.
Crowd's leaving.
Yeah, they are already. That's extraordinary. Here's Fogarty. He's 22 metres out here and 13 in from the western touchline. Right behind him is a kick. Starts it right, swings back, sneaks in. 36 what is the scoreline here? Oh, is 50 in danger. There's still 20 minutes left in the game of footy. By the way, 0467 920 non-Eagles fans need to back off. They don't get our culture. Seibold was luckily a great guy and probably a good coach, but not an old boy. Just like these people texting in, Seibold wouldn't have really understood the fire in our belly. Manly hates you too, says Kel. Look, you mightn't imagine players doing it. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen. In reference to me saying I doubt the players were underperforming on purpose for their former coach. Yeah, I don't want to think about it, but you're right. Now, hang on. There's a big hit down here from the kickoff.
Yeah, let's see who the culprit is, because someone could be going to the bin here.
There's just a shoulder charge action here too.
Molo comes in first.
Yeah, looks like Francis Molo. He does rap though, does he?
Oh, he's sort of... So is it Waddell who gets sandwiched between those 3 players? Yeah, Waddell has the footy. Molo does come in, or is it Flegler?
Well, that's the last person you want going on there.
Flegler. Tom Flegler. Yeah, it's Flegler's been called out. Let's have a listen. He's just said it's on the...
Step on. Yeah, Flegler's the one being named as the culprit. Okay. Here it is, the piggyback penalty.
On the replay, you'd think it was Molo who came in. But it's...
I think Molo might have wrapped. I think Flegler's come in with a shoulder charge without making any attempt to wrap his arm around.
20 gone, 20 left in this second half. Joy says, what a joke is this game. It's unbelievable. Yeah, 36-0. So... Tom Flegler on report, and still 63% Manly possession, 36-0 the scoreline. Comes to Tolotaukola. Back back out there yet? No, not that I can see.
No.
The HIA. Now Ben Trebojevic.
I'll be surprised if he comes back on, actually. He'll probably just rest him now.
Yeah, we'll get to Farina shortly. He's on the bike down there, Trebojevic. Open side right. There's Jake Trebojevic. And he's 20 metres out. And he feeds the ball off to Kobe Hetherington. Would have played with and against his old man.
Yes.
Yep.
Superstar.
Here's the kick from Fogarty. Goes up in the air. That's it off Cobbo's chest. And that's just a straightforward off the Dolphins. Selwyn Cobbo.
He's had a few errors tonight, and it's been reflective. The whole performance of the Finns just hasn't lived up to expectation.
So, it'll be a scrum feed here now for the Seagulls. They're only 10 metres out, right-hand side of the sticks. 36-0 is their lead. This has been most extraordinary. The Dolphins will have back-to-back losses. Of course, they were beaten by the Broncos. They had back-to-back wins before that, but it's this battle for consistency, Billy.
Yeah, without doubt. What the Finns' biggest losing margin is?
Yeah, I'll get to all that. Maybe Brad can look it up. Here comes Corey Waddell. Play at 5 out left-hand side of the post. Simpkin rips it back into Jake Trebojevic. Olakau'atu breaks one tackle. Farnworth tackles him. Is there a grounding from Olakau'atu? No. Ref Green Atkins is not convinced. So he'll come back and
just check that he doesn't get to the line.
Come back and play it here, 10 metres out from that Dolphins line. Biggest losing margin, 52 points, 64.
The ball's initially short.
Yep.
Well, they're a bit off that, but at the moment you have no confidence that's not going to continue, because they are just, every facet of their game's fallen apart here this evening.
The tackle is now complete and the player is still short. Decision made.
Just wait, I've got to wait for this line.
Pete at Fennell Bay says Spriggy and Billy, the Knights stopped playing for O'Brien the last round last year with Fennell. I called that game. Yeah, it did. But I mean, it's one thing to happen in round 27, another in round 3 or 4. Anyway, here we are in round 5, and Manly, with a new coach, leads 36-0 away against the Dolphins. Here they come. Brooks to the left edge. And Trebojevic back on the inside for Tolatakola, who goes in and slams it down. Make it 40-0.
Boys are playing men here, Spriggy. This is now in the realm of embarrassing.
Yeah.
I feel for the crowd here who, as I said, when you turn up here at Dolphin Oval, it's Merch City. 90-95%
sea of red
have already bought something that symbolises this is my team, I'm proud. This is their ancestral home. They've been thumped here like I've never seen before. And that was a wonderful try there by the Manly Seagulls. They went down their left-hand side, got to the edge back row, Ben Trebojevic, set play. He took the ball to the line and it was back on the inside, not the outside, inside to Tolatakola, who hit the ball from playing, moved to fullback, just sliced straight through feeble Dolphins defence. This is, as I said, boys playing men, and for the Seagulls, whether they knew this was coming or not, surely they must be surprised as well.
We'll get the green and brown very shortly. Tolatakola in the 61st minute, and now Jamal Fogarty lining up the kick, 22 metres out and 10 in from the eastern side here at a thinning, talking about the attendance, Dolphin Oval. And this misses near side. So with 16 minutes left on the clock, it remains Andy Orenga 40, the Dolphins 0. KB on the touchline.
The Dolphins fans are streaming out of the stadium right now. They are not happy at all. Very dismal for the Dolphins tonight. Love that try by Kola. He's been one of the most reliable strike weapons, I would say, for Manly tonight.
Dolphins fans are hoping the ABC Sport Rapid makes the game finish sooner. So, 10,000 crowd here, which is capacity. It's a great little ground for that sort of crowd. Alas, they've had no real voice, apart from the odd disapproval for the refs and maybe their own players, because it has been an all-up carver through the first 64 minutes. Here they go, Molly Olakau'atu, tackled by Francis Molo, and they'll play it now. 30 out from his own line. Simpkin across here to Waddell and now Brooks. There's Feldy. So just to recap what I mentioned before. So Laiafi debuted last week. Feldy debuted for the Tigers against Manly 3 years ago. Now it's actually his club debut. And they won't use Paul Bryan or Simeone Laiafi tonight because they've used their fourth to bench the Seagulls. Here they go. Fogarty. Wide to Olakuatu. Now Garrick on this last play. They run the football and now it's sides. Come off the Dolphins. Still alive here. Came off Lemuelu. And so Manly have a full set 10 out from the Dolphins line again as they look for their quest for 50. In which case you can rule the Dolphins out of the comp. Here's Paseka back in the action. Taken down from behind by Tom Gilbert. 7 out, right-hand side of the post. Hetherington swarms back on the inside. Is there a grounding under the post? Not quite. He's inches away. Simpkin dummy half here. The Dolphins' defence is tiring. It's been not their night. And Benro just scores. He breaks one tackle and scores one of the easiest tries you'll see. Slams it down about 10 metres left-hand side of the post to make it Manly Warringah 44, the Dolphins nil. And guess what? I'm sorry, Finns fans, there is still 15 minutes left.
Yeah, this is embarrassing. Moving to the atrocious category now. They were so feeble defensively. Manly walked their way down the park. They got a penalty. He backed them out like it's happened at least 6 times in this game, I would think. And Manly then ripped them apart in the middle of the park. They went down their right-hand side. Fortuitously, they got the ball back 6 more. From that moment, you thought there's no way the Finns, based on the form we've seen tonight, was going to hold out, and they didn't. And in the end, it was Benro on the left-hand side, brushed aside a couple of players. I think Francis Molo was one who he skipped out of that tackle, and then the hammer was just not going to be able to stop the big edge back rower, and he's crashed over for a great try. It's been, I keep using the word stunning and startling.
Yes,
and well,
all of those things.
And you can't say anything else. And 50 looks more than reachable. It looks quite easy.
Yeah, from here, back him in definitely. There's still 13 and a half minutes left. Here's Jamal Fogarty, who's 6 from 9 so far tonight. Trying to lose count here. An angle kick, left-hand side of the post. He makes no mistake. So make that now 7 from 10. Brad will correct me if I'm wrong. 7 from 10. Thank you, Brad. And 46-0 is the scoreline here. Let's go back to the touchline. Karina Brown.
Oh my gosh, these tries are soft. I can't believe it. Like,
they're getting worse, aren't they?
Yeah, the Dolphins, can they just stand up and have a go? 15 minutes left, it's embarrassing.
Yeah. So the crowd's probably thinned out to half the 10,000 that were here. Kick-off. Ball goes down towards holding goal area. Get up on resumption there. Paseka takes on Tom Gilbert. The Dolphins have looked lackluster. And there's still 13 minutes left. They trail 46-0. This has been an all-time result for Kieran Foran as far as his first game as coach. And I will come back to those stats as far as the records for the Dolphins, because this may well be their biggest losing margin in our NRL history. You also know that they have history as Redcliffe, more likely, but in their relatively short National Rugby League history, that is in record territory as far as worst losing margins. Offload awfully here by Paseka. It's recovered now by Simpkin for the Seagulls, and now Brooks. Inside ball, Benro over halfway, burns past one, offloads back here to Otakola, takes on Tabuai Fido. He goes one way to the other. He's run down by Selwyn Cobbo, but he gets up and flick pass back to Waddell, who dives in behind the posts. Raise the bat, Seagulls. That's 50.
Wow, and that's one of their best. They've scored some great tries here tonight. A bit fiery in the in-goal area. And a bit of lip being given, and looks like Gilbert didn't take it too kindly, but they have just been too big, too strong, too good. And that was Benro brought the ball back down through the middle and just opened up the Dolphins' defence. Great run by the edge back rower. Cut through a lovely little offload and ended up Telltale Cola. Great work, and then a lovely late flick. Oh, well, that was magical.
The text in here. Are fans walking out yet? Yes. We had 10,000 at kickoff. We have probably 6,000 now with that. Bill in Fortitude Valley, Queensland, Brisbane says if this was a boxing match, the ref would have stopped the fight.
Oh, you definitely.
Yeah.
So I didn't give him a rap. Waddell was involved twice in the last 3 touches, and he finished off some great work. But Telltale Cola, Ben Travojevic, all had a hand in an amazing try. And, he said they got past 50, 52, I think, is the biggest ever losing margin.
Yeah.
Vince, and they're going to break that.
And they can't win the comp now. But based on that stat, of course, if you concede 50, you can't win the comp. That's the Dolphins gone. Put the line through them.
They're going to buy next week. Then they play Panthers, Warriors, Storm.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. That's a big few weeks coming up. Here is Jamal Fogarty. He's just about directly in front here. Who's now 8 of 11. It's 52-0. Manly Warringah's lead. 9 tries to 0. 0467 920 222. Sprigsy, I can go to bed without any heart palpitation, or with any heart palpitations tonight with my Eagles. No, sorry, I will sleep well. Marking the Central Coast. Yeah. Is it too late for the Finns to flip their coach in tonight's game? LOL, says Gaz. Neil says, what? At this point, if you're a Dolphins fan. Honestly, that's all I can say. Unless I missed it earlier, this is the biggest winning margin for a coach on debut, says John from Hobart. It would have to be. And as I said, I'm off to watch the Lions kick some Collingwood butt. Thank you, Azza. Even though I dislike the AFL as MC does, he says. Now here is Ray Stone, the fourth. In fact, no, it's only their third player who's off the bench, I think, tonight for the Dolphins. So Ray Stone involved. Beg your pardon, Donahue was out there. There was 4 years. And now a penalty for a crusher.
I'm surprised Trey Fuller, he hasn't been getting used. I watch obviously all the Dolphins games. He hasn't been getting used in season 2026. I find when he's on the park, something happens. He plays so direct, pokes his nose through. I'm just surprised he hasn't been used. Spriggy?
Yeah, so that's their fourth of bench. So Flegler, Stone, Molo and Donahue. No Trey Fuller tonight. 52-0 and there is still 10 minutes left. There are still fans just streaming out through those exit gates. And Karima comes to Tabulai Fido, and he can run into the corner and plant it down. And the Dolphins at last score a consolation try.
Maybe it's not over. Wow, only the hammer can do that. His acceleration was breathtaking, and he realised he was getting close to the sideline and dived. He's such an instinctive player, such a natural athlete. Great finish there by the Flying Finns custodian. Good work, but at least they get their eye open.
Touchline, Karina Brown.
That was good effort there by Hammer. You love to see him in open space and, great finish in the corner. Not a lot of celebrating going on by the boys, though. They all just sort of ran back to halfway.
Yeah.
So he was close to going out.
It was, I know. He ran, almost his pace cost him in the end almost because he had to dive, but he just did get the ball in the corner there. Hamaso Tabuai Fido. And, quite easy in the end. And there are the extras as well by Jermaine Asako. So 52-6 here at Dolphin Oval with 9 minutes and 15 seconds left.
Well, that's what it's taken to break this many defence. As I said, I'm sure Coach Foran will say 52 is amazing, but they have held this Finns attacking machine. They've kept their foot on the throat, and it's been brilliant to watch it from a defensive perspective as well. There's just been no way through it, Spriggy. It's just been relentless, and it finally, after 71 minutes, they found a way through.
Where is it? Sean, listening on the train from Frankfurt to Amsterdam. Good call, thank you, Sean. Brian from the Central Coast is asking about what odds Manly had. You're on the wrong station, mate. That's not something we do anyway. I think you're having a lamb. I think you're just joking. But in case you're not, just get with the program, mate. Open side left, they come. 52-6. Yeah. 8:50 left in this second half. And the Dolphins dashing out of their own 20-metre line here. Karima off to Farnworth, put down by Garrick, 5 short of the halfway on that left edge. And now play 4, Selwyn Cobbo pressing into the line there, but Waddell gets him. Play at 40 out open side right. Now across again here to Donahue, the man they call Donga, who makes his first appearance since the last round of last year. Last play kick from Isaiah Katoa. Up goes Tola Taukola, brings it down here for the Seagulls. 10 out from his own line. 52-6 is Manly's lead. Billy, where he is. 8 minutes and 10 seconds left.
Nice set of 6 for the Finns. Too little too late, but at least they're showing their fans they haven't switched off.
So here you go, left-hand side of the park. They go here through Josh Felaty. Comes open side right. Again the Ruben Garrick. 3 Dolphins swarm on him. 35 out. From that northern line, come back to Taniela Paseka. Ruptured the Achilles in round 3 last year. Scored a try for a couple of years. Taniela Paseka, the front rower. Last play kick goes down towards Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow. And he'll have it 5 out from that southern line. Swing the pass across here to his winger Renisako. Tabuai-Fidow now Avarillo in open space. Over halfway. The Hangaroos in support. Receives the pass and runs the rest of the way. All 30 or 40 metres to score his second try. And again, it's all in consolation here for the Dolphins. I think maybe there's even more frustration from their fans who know when they're on, they can do more stuff like that. But this game was so far beyond them at 52-0. It's back-to-back tries for their fullback, Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow. Alas, it will only be 52-10 and a kick to come Dolphins.
That's when they're at their best. Long-range tries. They can attack from anywhere on the park. They always seem to be better attacking from long range than they are when they're camped on the opposition's try line. For some reason, they just need that extra space, but great work, and they're able to find a little bit of room down their right-hand side, and they eventually just carved up the Manly defence who weren't able to contain them. That's the frustrating thing, as you said, Spriggy. They've got plenty of firepower, but the Manly defence tonight shut that down.
Touchline, we'll get to Carina very shortly. Just waiting for the kick here from Renisako, who's wasting no time. 30 metres out here and 5 metres in from the eastern side. 1 from 1 so far tonight. The Melbourne Storm-bound Jermaine Asako. Up go the flag. He's kicking well.
That's
2 from 2. Margin 40. It's still Manly 52, the Dolphins 12. Looks time we go, Karina Brown.
Yeah, here's the attacking prowess that we love to see from the Dolphins. They're just 70 minutes too late.
Yeah, Avarillo, beautiful run. Released by the hammer, going up the right hand, so the eastern touchline, and then back to the hammer. That's classic Finns play, but as you said, Katrina, too late. It's obviously 75 minutes late, and they were down by 50.
You just call it Katrina. Sorry, what's the wave at the moment? Katrina on the waves. It's a great, Gideon from Oak Flats says, not even a Dolphins fan, I'm annoyed with this performance, but I do not believe that Manly are playing like world beaters. Yeah, well, regardless, they scored, 52 unanswered points.
Yeah.
And that the big narrative of this game was the team that sacked its coach after round 4, 3 games, of course, they had the bye in there as well, and have an interim coach who's still at playing age, every bit the rookie coach Kieran Foran. This is just a hell of a story, regardless of how you feel about whether they're any good or not. 52-12 here, set restart Dolphins. Farnworth, they put it on the left-hand side. There's Cobbo, he streaks away from Fogarty, back on the inside to Herbie Farnworth. They'll score 3 tries in a hurry. Well, it's some fun for the fans who have stuck around. Alas, it will all come to nothing. But they have scored 3 very fast tries, 3 very quick tries, the Dolphins, in this game late in the second half. It's 52-16, kick to come Finns with 5 minutes left, Billy Moore.
Karina, we need another 10 minutes. Add it on somehow, because at this rate, this game's going to really open up very quickly. It's almost like fatigue's hit the Seagulls, and that style we talk about the Finns, where they strip you of numbers. Manly at the moment can't shut it down because they just got a little bit too much speed on the edge.
Yeah, they certainly do. That's I can't believe that. Yeah, 10 minutes it would be 52 all. The fans are loving it.
So that's what now. We've seen 3 tries in the space of 6 minutes. WI Fido times 2, and now Farnworth in the 75th. Here's Sako, 2 from 2. He's 24 metres out here and living in from the western side. Starts into the right, swings back in the breeze. BEA beautifully.
I always say, if someone's going to kick for my life, well, this is here this all the time, that's the guy. He is a great striker of the ball, beautiful curve, it's just so consistent. So that's what Melbourne have bought, a great winger with high work rate, but they're obviously buying someone that usually turns 4 points into 6.
Seagulls 52. The Dolphins 18.
Well, their record losing margin is not going to be threatened here tonight. That's one good thing for the Finns supporters. I suppose it's finding a little bright spot in a very dark place because they've been comprehensively beaten at home.
So, 4 minutes and 5 seconds left. 52-18. This is the thing where, okay, yes, for how impressive Manly have been, if they do concede sort of 4 or 5 tries in junk time, that's where the coach will say, well, hey, what's doing there?
Yes.
Like, you don't want to be giving up, 52-0, sure, but then now 52-18.
For and against counts so much to do in this competition.
For and against, boom, boom. Left to right they come. Off the right edge again, Tabuai Fido. Against that tide, Manly defence, now Sako, flick pass, back to his fullback.
It's touch football.
Swing all the way across here to the left-hand side. It's like rugby sevens, you're right. On the bounce here for Cobbo. Takes on Garrick. Goes the fend on Garrick. Garrick gets him in a touch. The ball came loose, though, into the path of Ray Stone. And I think Grant Atkins just double-checking here. But, yeah, it'll be a... it was a bit Manly ball because Cobbo was taken the touch by Garrick. So you can see bodies just kind of wilting in back play. Cobbo's a bit slow getting up as well.
They're exciting to watch in full flight, Spriggy.
Yeah.
I'm privileged enough, I watch them every time they're at home, and you just know that you're going to get some exciting patches of play and then some frustrating bits as well.
So I'm trying to work out. Manly had 44, 60. They scored, 60 points across their first 3 games. They were a chance of going past that in 1 game. Cobbo's going off for an HIA as he was taken out quite heavily there by Ruben Garrick in the touch. The touch, he was all over it, just making sure. We didn't see Tom Dvojevic come back on, did we, Karina, after he came off earlier?
No, he was on the bike for a little bit and then they pulled him up stumps.
Yeah.
He just rested now on the bench, smiling.
52-18 here, Manly leads the Dolphins. Now with these final 2 minutes left, Felice Kafusi checks back into the game.
Yeah, they're in wind down mode now. I think that's the last throw of the dice for the Finns in their excitement finish period because the rest has been dismal. But when you think the first 10 minutes, it was end-to-end action. Both teams were in the contest. But then for the middle, probably 60 minutes, they got blown off the park. Nearly a point a minute they conceded.
Manly scrum feed, 20 in from the western side and 20 out from their own line. With a minute 28 on the clock here. I was just counting down here to a big Manly win, 52-18. As up through centre field they go. Tackle ball on Paseka, 35 out from his own line. Now Hetherington gets involved as well here for the Seagulls. Tackle just short of the halfway. Simpkin directs it right-hand side of the park now for Corey Waddell. And he's tackled 40 out from the Dolphins line. Minute left here at Dolphin Oval. Inside ball, Paseka. Taken down there by 3 Dolphins. 35 out centre field. 50 seconds left on the clock. Simpkin off to Fogarty. Puts this ball into touch. 20 out from the Dolphins line. They'll go back on the attack with 40 seconds left on the clock.
The last roll of the dice, I said they might not have another one, but they do, the Finns. They won't die wondering. This would be exciting last couple of tackles.
So, here they go, the Dolphins. 52-18, 20 seconds left here. They have it right-hand side of the paddock. comes through hands Nicarima, and now Farnworth taken by Garrick, slips that tackle, 10 seconds left, Englishman goes on the toe here, chasing his own kick, now just carries it forward into the path of felony, and Manly end the game with possession. And what a game it's been. Fosball underway in a big way. Kieran Foran salutes with a win first up. His players scored 52 unanswered points. They did concede the last 3 tries of the game, but 52-18 is an emphatic win on the road for the Seagulls here at Dolphin Oval. And they get their very first victory of campaign 26, Billy Moore.
Well, Spriggy, the first 10 was even, completely even for mine. Then they missed an opportunity, the Finns. Averillo made a break down the right-hand side on tackle 1 and pulled the trigger. They lost possession, and the Manly side went up the other end of the park, and in the next 54 minutes, they scored 52 points. The Manly side, they absolutely tore the Finns' defence apart all over the park, left side, right side, through the middle. But what impressed me, obviously the last 7 or 8 minutes they conceded 3 tries, but their defence was exceptional, and they were able to contain the deadly Finns attack. A lot of it was self-destruction as well from the Finns, so Coach Wolf will be disappointed, especially losing at home here at the Heartland.
And some big games coming up as well.
Well, we touched on that. You got the bye, then you got the Panthers, the Warriors, the Storm. That's 3 hard games. So, yeah, they've put themselves in harm's way a little bit. They're 2-3 now, the Finns.
9 tries to 3 in this game. It was 28-0 at half-time. At one stage, 52-0 for the Seagulls after 69 minutes, only for the Dolphins to get the last 3. Down to you, Karina Brown.
I'm here with Luke Brooks. Congratulations. That was a huge performance.
Thank you. It feels good finally getting the win. So, yeah, very happy with it.
Tough start to the year and then a big week this week. How was Foz this week?
Yeah, it was really good. Obviously, tough week for the club. A bit of a change, but we needed to come here and put on a performance to turn our season around. And I thought Foz was really good this week. We got a reaction from the boys, so we've got to keep building on this.
And what does it mean to pull on the jersey?
Yeah, it means heaps. Obviously a proud club, a lot of history. We feel like we let the club down, we let the fans down the first 3 weeks, especially 3 losses at home. So we want to come out, put on a performance for them. Very happy with it.
You certainly put on performance. Congratulations.
Thank you. Cheers.
Luke Brooks there with her own Karina Brown after the 52-18 win. And I'll tell you what, KB, if you see the new coach floating around, know he's a mate of yours from Gold Coast days. So if you do see Kieran Foran and he's available, by all means grab him. We might get some Dolphins reaction as well if we can. Down to you again, KB.
I'm with Cody. Cody, it was a tough night tonight. How you feeling?
Yeah, obviously disappointed. First game back at KO, and that just wasn't good enough.
What was the halftime message?
Try and stick at it. Try and get our discipline right. Before we gave them too much field position. They got a lot to strike out wide, but we just couldn't hold them in the end.
It was good to get some points though in the end, and show the fans exactly what you guys got up your sleeve.
Yeah, look, we wanted to put some pride. Obviously, they stuck out there for us till the end, so it was nice to, I guess, put on a couple of tries, but at the end of the day, we're very disappointed.
Go have a rest next week, and all the best for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Karina Nicarima, it's actually his birthday tomorrow. Turned 32, Karina Nicarima, so there you go. And yes, that's back-to-back losses now for the Dolphins. So we'll see what more reaction we can get from downstairs from the winning team. Manly Warringah, 52-18 winners here over the Dolphins, and Kieran Foran's first up win as coach, and indeed Manly's first win of season 2026. Let's get back down to you. You're going to have to chat the TV, I think, and take your boy pitch. So we'll get someone else. That's always the way. They pour rank on us, but that's kind of how it works. So do your best if you can, Karina. But we had 10,023 here, the crowd, and by the time we got to the first Dolphins try, it thinned out to about 6,000, I reckon. So them's the breaks, but a tough loss at home for the Dolphins. Kawatu now will slip out of the top 8, Billy Moore.
Yeah, they will. We talked about the bye, then they've got 3 very hard games against top shelf teams, Panthers, Warriors, Storm. So Christian Wolf, obviously, they'll lick their wounds and try and break down this loss, try and find the learns from it. And then from there, they will obviously go and meet the mighty Panthers. Will that be round 7, which will be at Lang Park. So anyway, they've got to get through the next couple of...
No, that's at Darwin.
In Darwin.
That's at Darwin.
Sorry, yes. Darwin.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a bit of an ask for them, but they need to find out what went wrong here tonight and correct it.
So players are milling about here off the back of this 52-18 win. 9 tries to 3. Tom Trbojevic scored the very first of the game after 14 minutes, and then Lehigh Pawadi, who received the tip on from Turbo Tom. Down to you again, Karina Brown, with Ruben Garrick.
Finally got Ruben Garrick here. Congratulations on the win. You must be feeling pretty proud.
Yeah, very proud. It's been a tough few weeks back home, so for all the boys to get away and really, I guess turn it on up here, it's a massive effort.
Certainly turned it on, and so did yourself. How good was that try? Great line run.
Yeah, before I went far out, I was still on the nudie, but yeah, it was lovely to get a try, and I'm just really proud of the boys. And it's been a tough few weeks, like I said, and for us to turn up like that and put a performance on when we've been pretty ordinary the last few weeks, it's I'm very, very proud of the boys.
How do you guys get around each other? You said it had a tough few weeks, but to put on a performance like that. But what are you saying to each other during the week?
Yeah, well, our backs were well and truly against the wall there, and we've been getting hammered in the media from pillar to post, so it was very nice to, I guess, batten down the hatches and get in really tight and just make sure we're staying in the process and staying to what we believe is the way forward for us. And I guess you've got to double down on social events and really stick together, because I guess if you look at it out in the media, it's not too good at the moment. So yeah, we did that the last week or so, and yeah, really proud of the boys tonight to show up here and ready and put on performance like that.
As they say, a week's long time in footy, and you've turned around, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.
Ruben Garrick, who also scored a try in that first half. So Whitey scored 2 in that first half. Garrick and Brooks also crossed. So that was 5 tries to none in the first 40. Kawatu, Kola, Ben Trbojevic, Corey Waddell all going over in the first 68 minutes of game time. Jamal Fogarty had 7 conversions, 1 penalty to finish up 8 from 11. And the Dolphins scored those 3 tries. Tabuai Fido times 2. Toby Farnworth, all in a space of 3 tries in 5 minutes. Jermaine Osako, 3 from 3 is how it all finished up here. Morgan Knowles was sin-binned in the first half. He was also placed on report for a separate incident, as was Tom Flegler for a shoulder charge in the second half. So a bit more to come from that potentially as well. We'll see if we can get anything else from Karina. Otherwise, she'll join us up here for the post-game wrap-up. But I fancy if we somehow see him milling about. I can't see him right now, Kieran Foran. But I know he's got a former connection to you, Karina, at the Gold Coast Titans. And if there's a chance we can hear from him, that'd be absolutely gold. But he might just be hiding away for the time being before his press conference. But 52 points to 18, Billy. It is just any way you chop it up, a great win for the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles. Who gets your 3 best in the ABC Player of the Year?
3 best. Ramoli Olakawadu, right edge. A couple of tries. 24 carries, 268 metres. 130 of those were post-contact. Phenomenal. I gave 2 to Tom Trbojevic. You got to remember when he was on fire, he spent the last 30 minutes off the field,
yep.
I think, HIA. When he was on song, he was the one that broke the damn wall. He scored a try and set one up, and he had some beautiful touches, which absolutely probably began the right but tore the Finns apart. And I gave 1 point to Teniela Paseka. I think he's a player they really missed last year, and him coming to the fore provides a dangerous middle player who's going to get yardage and allow the halves to play footy. 70 carries, 198 metres, 70 of those post-contact, so 76 of those post-contact. He did the hard yards, which built the platform that allows everyone to go forward.
3 to Olakawatu. 2 Tom Droyevich and 1 2 Talena Paseka. Down to you, Karina Brown.
Hey guys, I'm with Turbo Tom. Congratulations on that win. I'm seeing you here with all the fans. How's it feeling?
Yeah, look, we needed that. It's so good to come up here and put a performance on like that. And yeah, it's great. You have so many fans turn up.
Sneaky try?
Yeah, it's always nice to get over the line, but just really grateful we could, let's sit for 70 minutes, put on a performance like that.
And how's the body feeling?
Yeah, good. Got a bit of rest there, so I'll be ready to go next week.
Awesome, congratulations.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Tom Droyevich there with Karina Brown here at Dolphin Oval. So,
question I've got for you without notice, the 3 losses and the bye, so they hadn't won a game all year. The round 5 have come out, they've won one. Can they turn the season around and play finals football? Because I think I saw Kieran Foran come out and say, we will play finals. So you think their next month, Spriggy, Dragons, Cowboys, Eels. Those 3, that if they're in that sort of form, they have a chance of winning those. And then obviously they've got to go to the Panthers. So that's the back end of that next month. So
I don't think anyone's thinking about that for the Seagulls. I know it's fun to put it out there, but that would go beyond anyone's wildest dreams if you're a Manly fan.
Correct. But what I just saw there, as I said during the call, I could not believe with the cohesion and the energy they were playing with that they hadn't won a game. So either that's going to be an aberration, but if that's the consistent norm that's going to happen in the Foran era, Spriggy, they're winning games.
We'll see if KB can come up here and join us for the post-game show. I think that might be the best we can do. Yeah, absolutely. She's done a fantastic job getting us all that post-game reaction from downstairs here at Dolphin Oval.
One thing we're looking at there is Cody Hetherington. So this is a guy that basically was coming off the bench for the Bronx. He's gone to Manly, and I thought he was a standout as well. Him and Paseka up front, they really held an own the middle up against a forward pack that you thought, wow, the Dolphins forward packs to be reckoned with. Well, they threw them around. The Seagulls toyed with them.
So I guess the question is, Billy, and this has been the theme of a lot of the correspondence we've had from listeners tonight, is where was this in the first few weeks? Is this as simple as discontented players not playing for their previous coach, be it just through some kind of inadvertent psychology, or dare I say on purpose, as some are suggesting? Where has this come from, and why couldn't Manly produce this in the previous few weeks?
That's a really good question, and the player group and the senior player group of the Manly club are the ones who can answer that question. The way that reads to me and what I've seen in my time with groups of people, sporting teams and in small business, it can be as simple as a change of the leadership does evoke a massive butterfly effect in the club, or the group that you're talking to, where they cohesive bonds come together. They go back in and they do things in a basic way. They simplify things, and it brings out the best of the individual and the group. So I would say that yes, it's as simple as the removal of Seabold and the installation of Foran. He is the glue, the trigger that's caused this to happen, because he's one of them. And I think he speaks the same language, and I would, from what I can tell and what I'm hearing, Seabold was on the outer so far, and over a sustained period of time, the team lost their way, he lost the group. The question I've got, why did it take season 2026 to roll around? Why did this not happen at the end of 25? Or, again, certain people would know the answer. Did they give him a certain period of time in 2026 and they realised, no, you've actually lost this room, you've lost the dressing room? So was that the key factor? So those questions will come out in time, because one thing about rugby league, it's a leaguey ship, it talks, so we'll find out those answers. But Kieran Foran is the DNA they need at this club currently, and if he wants to be if he wants to start as a head coach, that's a very good way to start.
Yeah, Michael Caranos mentioned to us pre-game that it will be now a real sort of watch and act from the board as far as the